pleased with it. Most world leaders seem to have left relatively pleased with it. Will anything actually, though, change?
Yes. A lot will change, both
See
in the
what we
short
can
term
read between
and
the
in the long
lines
term.
here.
Remember, when they met back in November, the Bush administration was on the way out. It was difficult to get a consensus. They knew the situation was getting worse. Now
If you
they've
know
got a
the double
consensus,
talk, this
albeit
guy
not
can do it.
perfect, but they have got a plan. It's a long-term plan, and they're now going to start putting it to use.
We saw Michelle Obama earlier. It was interesting to see the public's reaction to her in London, and also the media's reaction to her in London. I mean, there was a lot of people went over. I don't know. Mania is probably too strong a word.
I guess they want us to get used to seeing that word.
People on the
New
streets
world.
swooning in theatres. No, not yet. But look at this newspaper here.
Are they promising us a new world?
The newspaper, the Daily Telegraph, a very conservative newspaper. But look at that. Their main story, of course, is about the G20. The fight back starts here. But the real story they want you to see is this one.
That's what sells the paper.
Yeah, that's going to sell the paper. Now, notice, he's not there. Gordon Brown's certainly not there. The G20...
Nobody wants to see Obama's face. He's been showing it too much.
Well, I mean, you know, little they call. I mean, this has been an extraordinary event. For those of us that get excited by summits and by economics, you don't see these very often. I can't remember everything like this in my career. But what you do see is a determination. Will they get it right? And that's a fascinating bit. Because what President Obama basically said yesterday at his main press conference in London is there are no guarantees, that they've just got to hope it's going to work.
And in terms of concrete things, I mean, more money for the IMF.
Yep.
Why does that matter to America?
Because the moment some countries start going bust, they won't be able to buy American exports. The moment some countries start going broke, the whole thing unravels. That's why it's important.
So IMF is money that goes to developing nations.
It'll go it'll go to some countries in Europe as well. It goes to Mexico. Mexico's just gone to the IMF and asked for something great big loans. There are countries around the world that can't pay their bills, that they can't service their sovereign debt. It's no different to you or me not being able to pay our credit cards. Countries can't do it. The IMF has now been given the money to help them do it.
And there's going to be at least calls for greater regulation internationally.
Well, there is calls for greater regulation. The US says it's not a global regulator.
Under that, they ought to say welcome to the police state, too.
Regulator. I think a slippery slope has been launched on that issue. But the fact is, everybody accepts that whatever went wrong, the horrors of capitalism circa 1990, 2000 cannot be allowed to go into the rest of this century. The only problem of all of this is we had the dot-com boom and bust. Now we've had the subprime boom and bust. And we've had the derivatives boom and bust. They can put those right. They don't know what's coming next.
Richard Quest, appreciate it. Thanks. And thanks for all your help all week long. You've got a Twitter page.
Ah, yes.
What's your Twitter address? Everyone wants to be Twittering with you.
Richard Quest. Come on. I need these people following me. Rick Sanchez is a long way ahead.
I'm trying to be Rick Sanchez. So what is it? Just Richard Quest?
Just Richard Quest, one word.
I got a Twitter for you.
You really are behind the times on this. Kick up.
I mean, I tweet. I just don't know how to...
If you're not careful, someone will have to buy you an iPod.
All right, Richard, thanks. So who won and who lost at the G20 summit? That's ahead. And Michelle Obama's visit to that young girl's school. They'll welcome the First Lady, and, well, she's